Hey everyone! So today I want to talk about something that happens to a lot of people, and it's almost impossible to explain to someone who hasn't felt it. You found a new restaurant, and the first thing you thought was, they'd like this place. Before you'd even been there yourself, before you had any reason to be thinking about them at all. And that was the moment, though you didn't recognize it at the time, that your life had already started quietly rearranging itself around someone, not in a dramatic, romantic way, not planning a wedding, nothing like that. More like you were listening to something, a song, a story someone was telling you, and in the middle of it, you imagined sharing it with them, not sending it, just the two of you somewhere and it playing in the background. Or you caught yourself cleaning your apartment a little more carefully than usual, not because they were coming over. They weren't. You just started keeping your space like someone who expects someone else to eventually be in it. And none of this felt dramatic. That's the thing, it felt normal. Like of course you'd think of them, except they weren't part of anything yet. You hadn't built a relationship, but your future had already started making room for one. And honestly, most people don't notice this happening, because it doesn't feel like attachment. Not at first. It feels like excitement. Like your life is starting to point somewhere, like ordinary things are gaining a little more texture, because there's someone to imagine experiencing them with. You walk past a place and think, we should go here sometime. You hear about an event weeks away, and mentally hold the date open. You notice yourself caring about things you didn't care about before, a neighborhood, a hobby, a type of food, because it's somehow adjacent to their world, which sounds small until you notice how often you're doing it. None of these are conscious decisions. You're not sitting down and saying, I'm going to reorganize my emotional life around this person. It just starts happening, quietly, in the background, like furniture being rearranged in a room you're still standing in. And by the time you notice the room looks different, you can't remember when it changed. The strange part is what you're actually doing underneath all of this. You're not just thinking about them, you're building. Most people think attachment starts after closeness, after time, after intimacy earns it. But sometimes it starts the moment your brain begins treating someone like a future it's already committed to. Your brain is taking the small things you know about this person, the way they talk, the things that make them laugh, the version of them that shows up in your best interactions, and it's using those fragments like a blueprint. And then it starts constructing, not a detailed, planned-out future. Something more emotional than that, a feeling-level future. You start imagining ordinary things, sitting next to them in a car going nowhere important. The comfortable silence where neither of you is trying to be interesting. And those imagined moments, as simple as they are, start carrying real emotional weight. Because your brain doesn't fully separate what's imagined from what's experienced. The comfort you get from picturing that future, your body registers it almost like a memory. So you start living in two places at once. The life you actually have, and the life you've already started emotionally moving into. That second life feels warmer, less empty, which makes the first one harder to sit in. That's the weird part, and this is where things start getting honest, because this isn't just about liking someone. A lot of people like someone and stay grounded. This is different, this is about what that person represents to you underneath the distraction. And for a lot of people, honestly, it's not even fully about them. It's about the feeling that life is finally moving. Think about what your days felt like before this person showed up. Not bad necessarily, functional, busy even, but there was a flatness to them, a sameness that nothing on the horizon was going to change. You were fine. But you weren't aimed at anything, and then someone appeared. And suddenly, for the first time in a while, your emotional life had a direction, something to look forward to, something that made a random Tuesday feel less random. That shift from flat to forward is more powerful than most people realize, because you're not just attaching to a person, you're attaching to the end of a particular kind of stillness. And that's a very different thing to try to let go of. And this is usually the point where people realize the attachment was never fully about the person. And you probably noticed this in ways you didn't fully register at the time. You started describing your day differently, not to them, to yourself. You'd be doing something mundane and catch yourself narrating it in your head as if you were going to tell them about it later. A small thing happened at work, and your first instinct was to save it. Not write it down, just hold it. Like an experience that now had a destination. You started measuring your week by when you'd see them next. Wednesday felt like a checkpoint. Friday felt like an arrival. The days in between were just filler. You imagined introducing them to your friends, not on purpose. The thought just showed up on its own. What you'd say, how they'd get along, how it would feel to have someone next to you who actually fit. And at some point, and this one's quiet enough that you might have missed it, you caught yourself thinking in we, not out loud, just internally. We could do that. We'd probably like that place. As if the two of you were already a unit that just hadn't been announced yet. You probably know this feeling, and at some point, and this is the part most people don't catch, you stopped waiting to see who they actually were and started emotionally living inside who you hoped they'd become. Each one of those small moments did something quietly enormous. It made the future feel inhabited, like you weren't just heading into next month. You were heading into next month with someone, and that, the feeling of heading somewhere with someone, became the thing your whole emotional system organized around. And this is usually the point where people start confusing what they're actually afraid of. Because eventually, something wobbles. Maybe they pull back slightly, maybe the momentum slows. Maybe nothing concrete happens at all, but you feel it, pause in the forward motion, and the anxiety that shows up, it's not proportional to what's actually happening. It's a full-body alarm that feels like something foundational is being threatened, and that's because it is. You're not afraid of losing a person you've known for a few weeks. Not really. What your body is reacting to is the idea of losing everything you built around them, the imagined mornings, the future directions, the feeling that your life was finally becoming something different. Losing them doesn't just mean losing them, it means going back. Back to the flat weeks, back to the sameness, back to the version of your life that felt emotionally paused, the one that didn't have anywhere to point. And honestly, that's the fear that actually drives the attachment, not love, not romance. The terror of returning to a life that felt like it had stopped moving. A lot of people don't realize this is what's happening. They think they're afraid of rejection. They think it's about the person, but underneath the thing they can't let go of is the direction. So where does that leave you? I don't think the point is to stop building. I don't think you can, and I don't think you'd want to. The ability to imagine a future with someone, to let your life stretch toward another person, that's not a flaw. But I think what matters is seeing the architecture clearly. Because when you can see that most of what you're feeling was built by you, in the ordinary moments where your brain quietly furnished a life that doesn't exist yet, it doesn't make the feeling less real, but it does change what the feeling means. It means the depth you're experiencing isn't proof that this person is right for you. It's proof that your emotional life was ready for someone, that something in you had been waiting for a while to start building again. They just happened to show up at the moment you were most ready to begin, and your heart, tired of waiting, didn't ask whether they'd earned the space, it just started making room. And I think that's the part that stays with people the longest. Not that the person mattered, they might have, they might not have, but that you had already started emotionally living in a version of your life that included them. You'd already begun rearranging things, quietly, privately, in places nobody else could see. You built emotional permanence around someone who was still temporary, and now whether they stay or don't, you're left standing in a room you redesigned around someone who may never walk into it. And the hardest part isn't the emptiness, it's that the room still looks like it's waiting for someone, even after you've stopped. Because emotionally, some part of you had already started calling it home. Anyway, if this one resonated, you can subscribe if you want. I make this pretty regularly. And yeah, thanks for being here.